in Irving, Texas, under bright Texas sunshine on the Chicago Bears, unbeaten against the Dallas Cowboys, unbeaten. A capacity crowd again, as you would expect for a game of this magnitude, and featuring runners like Walter Payton of the Bears. The Bears will get the ball first. They won the toss. Tony Dorsett of Dallas was the number 2 runner in the NFC last year, and he'll be moving his heels for the Cowboys. Good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire, and both teams unbeaten, both with great runners like Payton and Dorsett. It should be a fine afternoon.
I think Roger Staubach needs some help, though. He's really been carrying the team with like 60% passing, which he's always done, 2 touchdown passes, but he needs a rushing game. Right now, the Cowboys are doing about 129 yards average, and that's not like Tom Landry's team.
On the subject of quarterbacks, it'll be Vince Evans at quarterback for the Bears. That's
quick,
the starter.
Very quick player, likes to sprint out a lot from USC and makes mistakes, but he has a great halfback to hand the ball off to, and we figure that 70% of the time Walter Payton will have his hands on it somehow.
Let's go down and watch some of these players in action right now, Tom.
Why not?
As we mentioned, the Bears won the toss and will receive. Brian Bashnagel is the man in the middle. He will not return it. It'll be Ricky Watts up the far sideline and with some room and out of bounds at about the 34-yard line by Dallas kicker Raphael Septien. Well, now it's good to be back on football, Thomas.
Nice to get you back. Here's a good offensive line. Dallas worries about it. Albrecht, Big Noah Jackson, Neal, the 7-year man out of Kentucky, Big Sorry, and Dennis Lick, one of the best tackles in football, and Mike Cobb, that new tight end.
The receivers in the backfield, Scott and Golden Richards wide. It's a big game and very important game for him. Vince Evans, as we mentioned, is the quarterback. Williams and Walter Payton, the deep backs.
That quarterback is Vince Evans, huh?
It is indeed. First down at the 35 will make it. Straight ahead for about 1.5 yards, perhaps, but that's all. Dave Williams, the ball carrier. Vince Evans, the quarterback for the Bears. The defense for Dallas.
Okay, Larry Cole at left end, Stalls at left tackle. Remember, he had a knee hurt in that St. Louis game. And, of course, Randy White and Harvey Martin, 2 all-pros at the right side.
The linebackers, Brunig in the middle, Thomas Henderson and D.D. Lewis on the outside. They've been feuding a bit of late.
Henderson hadn't started. He didn't start last week. There's Barnes, Kyle, of course, Randy Hughes, and Cliff Harris, number 43.
On 2nd and 8, the Bears will operate. Evans drops the first pass in this game for Vince, overthrown, intended for Greg Latta.
Vince Evans is not a drop-back passer. It looked to me like he stayed on his back leg and just hoisted that one at least 8 yards over a tight end that's 6'5".
He's bound to be a little bit nervous. It was Hollywood Henderson nearest to Latta, but he was open by perhaps a step. Just a poor throw by Evans off that back foot.
I think we might be looking for Golden Richards, number 83, to go in motion and catch the ball. He hasn't had a chance to catch a ball in the first 2 wins for Chicago, not yet.
It is 3rd and 8. Richards split out wide to the right. It's Scott inside him. Cowboys take a blitz, run a draw with Payton, and he's got some room. Oh. He has the first down, does Walter Payton. Finally knocked out of bounds by Benny Barnes and Dennis Thurman. But a first down in Chicago. Watch it from the end zone.
We were looking at this young man. His name is Payton. Watch him now. Run the draw. Get outside. Watch him run through Cliff Harris, number 43. You cannot arm tackle him. He just leaves Henderson. I don't think he's quite 5'11". I think he's about 5'10". He bench presses 390. He is strong, fast, and you've got to use the shoulder in a lot of them.
Word just comes to us that game is in overtime. Denver and Atlanta, 17-17. 1st and 10, Chicago at the Dallas 49, at their own 49 making. Evans straight back. Intended for Mike Cobb, number 87, knocked away by Thomas Henderson.
Good coverage by Henderson.
Over on the Dallas sideline, number 52. Is their first-round draft choice from Tennessee of last year, Robert Shaw, who is the backup center. Neil Armstrong.
Very solid feeling to the Chicago Bear team this year. They're not cocky or arrogant, but they sure know they can play with just darn near anybody.
They're 2-0. Very solid defense, 2nd and 10 Bears. Their own 49. Evans, the quarterback, again straight back. Not much of a rush from Dallas. Pass goes right through one player's hands, through the hands of number 22, I believe, or was it Brian Bashnagel?
It was Williams. I believe the fullback.
Williams, correct.
Fullback had a good chance to make the catch. But, Pat, you mentioned the good blocking. There is no rush. Remember, the Cowboys only have 2 sacks in their first 2 games. You can see up front, as Sorey keeps Stalls off. That ball went right on through and was definitely catchable.
It was Williams' hands that had slipped through. Payton might have had a chance at it. That's a final score. The New York Jets got back on the track by defeating Detroit 31-10. That makes them 1-2. Detroit 0-3. Philadelphia final score 26-14 over New Orleans. Cleveland 20, Cincinnati 14. That's the final. Third down here. And still 10. One setback is Williams. Evans under rush, under pressure. Gets in Dallas territory, has his first down and more. Inside the Dallas 35 to about the 34. First down Chicago, stopped by Aaron Mitchell.
Woo. Big rush by Thornton, the rookie from Illinois. Watch the left part of your screen. You'll see 71 come up the middle, 77, pardon me, make a pretty good rush. Randy White's taken by, and this young man right here was the MVP in the Rose Bowl a couple of years ago. He's a heck of a good athlete. A little bit wild, but he's a wild horse rider. He's not too bad.
They had tried him. They had plans to try him as a defensive back. They had tried him as a kickoff returner. Now it looks like Vince Evans is settled as the quarterback. Very popular member of the Chicago Bears. First and 10 for the Bears at the Dallas 35. Hand off to Williams, straight ahead for about 5.
Again, you're probably keying Payton, especially on a first down. If you key a dangerous person like Walter, you might make a hero out of the remaining back. And the Bears had both fullbacks. They had Robin Earl, of course, Harper, their starter, go down within 8 days of one another. It seems to come in threes sometimes when injuries happen.
It would be hard, Tom, not to key on Payton, because going into this contest, he had handled the ball, either running or catching passes, 65% of the Bear offensive plays. You got to watch him. 2nd and 6 it'll be. Here's Payton. What a step. What a move. Payton out of bounds in the hands of Cliff Harris, but another Bear first down.
What a great block by Scott, the outside receiver. He came down on Aaron Kyle, and of course all you have to do is make good contact. You can see that Jackson has Randy White. Oh, he looks like a good block on Harvey Martin. Now watch this move right here. And a good block on Kyle by Scott, the outside receiver. And those outside receivers make a great running back look extremely good, don't they?
When they're already great like Payton, they're almost unstoppable. At the 13, it'll be first and 10 Chicago. No score as yet, 11:44 left first quarter. Bears look good. Evans to Williams. To the 9. Good hold.
Williams made the good block on Harvey Martin on the play before, and you know, for a guy that is running his first fullback position in pro football, he went to Canada out of Colorado where he was an option quarterback. Then he went to San Francisco for a brief time, and I'll tell you, he's done a heck of a job in the pinch that the Bears were in at fullback.
D.D. Lewis on the last tackle. The ball just inside the 10 with 11:19 now left in the first quarter. No score as yet. Bear offensive line doing an outstanding job right now on Dallas defense. Payton. Jackson out in front. Payton breaks a couple of tackles and gets down to about the 6 when he should have been stopped at about the 12.
Oh, there should be concern on Landry's face. That time Brunig had a perfect shot at Walter Payton after Randy Hughes had really played it super from the safety spot. Check the left part of your screen, see what happens. Stalls gets some penetration. Henderson tries to cut it. Now watch this now. He just walks through Bob Brunig's tackle and gets back to the line of scrimmage and may have picked up a little bit.
It'll be 3rd and 3. He actually got almost 4 yards out of a play that looked like it would be a loss.
Good play here.
One lone setback for the Bears. Williams set out line to the right. Evans on a quarterback draw will get in. Touchdown, Chicago. The Bears lead 6-0.
And never gave up the football. The Cowboy offense will have to warm up all over again. They took the opening kickoff, got a good run back, and 2 key runs by the quarterback, who steps back, and this one looked to me like it was planned. Set up Stalls by holding it up there like it was going to be the pass. Got a good block from Sorey and also from Baschnagel on the outside.
He set up that block on Stalls by Noah Jackson very nicely with that quarterback fake. A drop step and then straight ahead.
Thomas is 3 for 3 on PATs.
Sashnagel will hold. He's 4 for 4. Bears 7, Cowboys nothing. We have 10 minutes and 13 seconds left to play in the first quarter at Texas Stadium, and the Bears have taken a 7-0 lead over the Cowboys. Total plays 11, total yards 65, 1 touchdown for the Bears.
Payton with 3 carries and 32 yards already.
Bob Thomas will kick off. Landry and Armstrong, you saw in the inset, was out of bounds, and they'll do it again. Back deep for Dallas to return will be Ron Springs, their number 5 draft choice, and number 81, Steve Wilson, who is the son of a guy we played against, touchdown Tommy Wilson, who used to play with the Rams.
Ronnie Springs, though, does have springs. He brought back 3 kickoffs against San Francisco, all out over 30 yards apiece, and he can break one anytime. He's a great find by this Dallas organization.
There is Wilson.
Tommy Wilson was some ball carrier.
He played in the NFL as late as 1963, and now his son is playing. There is Ron Springs, who was the intended receiver in the Gator Bowl game. And the pass from Art Schliessler that was intercepted that ultimately resulted in the demise of Woody Hayes.
That was, you got all that information, huh?
How about that?
Springs, by the way, has great hands. We'll see him as a pass receiver a lot today.
Thomas again, this time from the 30. It will be Springs. Behind Wilson, number 81, and Springs swings to the outside. Almost got around the corner, out of bounds at the 32-yard line of Dallas. Wentford Gaines pushed him out. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It's intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited. The offense for Dallas.
Donovan, Scott, Fitzgerald, Rafferty, and Jim Cooper, the Temple free agent who's done such a great job in there for Rayfield Wright.
B.J. Dupree, the tight end. The Dallas receivers in the backfield. Jay Salvi is in the game. We'll run the rest of them down for you in a minute. Here comes Salvi in motion. Dorsett is deep, but that's Newhouse, the ball carrier. Wrapped up by Mark Hartenstein.
This is the reason that the Cowboys have had some trouble with 3rd downs, because they've been 3rd and long. They used to get 4 yards on that first running play, and they're just simply not doing it. There's the big rookie Hampton at left defensive end from Arkansas. Osborne, Alan Page, who is really quick right now, and Hartenstein, the big Penn Stater.
The linebackers will be Muckensturm, Hicks, and I believe Buffoon is starting in the middle.
For the first time.
And that's the secondary. Schmidt, Livers, Blank, Waldershy.
And they all hit. The Bears will hit.
Finsick still resting. Dorsett in motion for Dallas, and Staubach will drop. He's had to do it throwing. He does it to Salvi, who almost spun out of the grasp of Doug Plank, but he got a Dallas first down. A good throw.
Boy, Salvi has just stayed around for the years he's been with Dallas, waiting for a chance to play, and now he's getting that as an outside receiver, which really helps when you think about Tony Hill on one side and Pearson and Dupree, and then you can put in Salvi too.
And how about the big 6'6" rookie that they can also come at you with, Cosby. A lot of horses. 1st and 10, Dallas. And this is Dorsett, swarmed on by Osborne and Alan Page.
Looked like he might have hurt him a little bit. He was a little bit slow getting up, number 33 was. Of course, Dorsett got in a good second half against San Francisco. Watch this. Again, a first down play, and this is when Roger needs yardage. Give me 4 or 5 on that first running play, then we'll end up with 3rd and 2 rather than 3rd and 7 or 8. Let's see how the big Razorback did, the rookie Hampton at the defensive left end spot. Dupree does a pretty good job staying right in his face.
It'll be 2nd and 13. Scott Laidlaw is the lone setback, and Staubach brings the ball back to Laidlaw, and he'll get another first down for Dallas. Doug Plank again on the tackle, but a good-looking play for the Cowboys this time. Neil Armstrong looking down with concern.
Super block by Herbert Scott. Left guard pull 68. Watch this crackback block from the outside. Clean, legal maneuver, and just strips off that pursuit. Dorsett's out in front, blocking for Laidlaw. And
doing very well. Miami, Minnesota. In the 4th quarter, Miami Dolphins lead 13-12 over the Vikings. Robert Newhouse is right behind Staubach, and now he moves away along with Dorsett, and Dorsett goes back deep in the eye at the moment. First down, Cowboys. Drew Pearson in motion, and the handoff is to Dorsett. Racked up by Hartenstein again from the offside.
Dorsett looked like he might have hesitated just a little bit at the line of scrimmage because there was no hole.
There's a guy who didn't hesitate at all in that first drive that the Bears put together. That is Walter Payton looking on.
Not kind of strong. Mr. Sweetness. What a great guy to have in your city, though. They tell me that he just walks down the street in Chicago, lights up. You know it?
Denver 20, Atlanta 17. That is the final. That means both of those teams are now 2-1.
Jim Turner kicked a 25-yard field goal to win that one for Bronx.
On second down, Staubach faces a blitz and has time and goes deep for Tony Hill and got him. Touchdown, Dallas.
The 12th catch for Tony Hill this year and the second touchdown. And Roger Staubach, for having a sore elbow, really threw that ball sharply.
It is right on the money. Watch it.
And watch the blocking. There's some good aggressive blocking here. Laidlaw steps up and really takes on the linebacker. Watch this throw. Cleaned off and flat flown in there. Hello, airmail special. Hill is open. Wide open.
When you blitz like that, you take that chance and you put an awful load on your cornerbacks. They've got to go one-on-one then, and that's a tough job against a guy like Tony Hill as Rafael Septien makes it 7 apiece.
All right, now you're looking right down the line of scrimmage. Notice the linebackers to the left coming in right down the middle, both middle linebackers. Look at Laidlaw. Wow, what a block by that up back.
Yeah, what a football game we've got with 6:32 left in the first quarter. Dallas 7, Chicago 7. The number of plays it took the Cowboys to get even on the scoreboard was 6 as Rafael Septien trots up to kick it off. High booming kick chases Brian Baschnagel back into the end zone where they will down it, and wise choice it was.
Good kick.
Fine kick. Remember, that came from the 35 all the way into the end zone. Cleveland defeated Baltimore by the score of 13-10. The Browns remain undefeated. Baltimore goes to 0-3.
Now, if Walter Payton gets 3 yards or more, he goes past Rick Caceres as the all-time Bears ground gainer in 5 seasons, and old Big Rick did it in 10,
In
right?
10 years, right. And I'm sure he's looking on right now. Down in Tampa.
I ache every time I think about Big Rick. I'll tell you, Walter Payton is a great running back, huh?
There's no question about that. Sometimes you use that word too often, I think, but it applies to Payton. Williams this time straight ahead. Dave Williams this is. Stopped by the middle of the Dallas defense. They started from the 20. They got 3, so it'll be 2nd and 7. That band is from Fort Walton Beach, Florida. They were on the bus for 18 hours to get here to perform at halftime from Choctawhatchee High School. They like that.
Do they enjoy coming for a big pro football game, huh?
The Jets 31, Detroit 10. That again is a final score. The Jet record is now 1-2. Detroit is 0-3 with problems.
Let's see how that left side of the defensive line handles this Chicago rush.
It is Payton on a draw. He broke 2 tackles. Still struggled for perhaps a yard, but that might be one of his better efforts.
And Brunig has got to be one of the strongest linebackers in football. Watch number 53 now get his hands on a quick draw. That means it very quickly is taken back to the remaining back. He's just a load. He can't be over 205 pounds. 5'9", 10 maybe.
It is wound very tightly, though. It'll be 3rd and 6. Vince Evans, the Bear quarterback. It's been a long struggle for the Bear administration to figure out who would start. But at least for today, they've settled on Vince Evans. So Walter Payton. That should be very close to at least tying Rick Caceres' record as the all-time leading Bear rusher. Not a first down, however.
And a great defensive play by Thornton, number 77, the left defensive end, the big rookie from Illinois. Good defensive play. 77 will come into your screen and do a job. He gets by the block, of Cobb, the tight end. Harris is there. Brady Hughes, too.
Payton now has 37 yards, so he is the all-time leading Bear rusher. The Cowboys put the pressure on and almost blocked Bob Parsons' kick. Tony Hill signals for the fair catch at the Cowboy 34. So that's where Dallas will take over. The score is tied at 7-7. We have 4 minutes, 15 seconds left to play in the first period. Dallas will take over at its own 29-yard line. Irving, Texas. Cowboys 7, Bears 7. First quarter. Cowboys first down at their own 35. I think I told you the 29 a minute ago. They hadn't marked it down yet. The throw is to Salvi, and he's got it. Out of bounds, chased closely by Doug Plank.
Again, we had heard that Roger Staubach's elbow was bothering him this week. He pulled out the San Francisco job in the second half. And of course, a good opening game against St. Louis, and he's having to do a lot of it himself, but he really is throwing the ball extremely well.
First quarter score, the Buffalo Bills, who got their offense in gear last week, lead San Diego 6-0, second and 3 for the Cowboys.
It's pretty hot down in the field. It's about 85 degrees, and it might be warmer than that in the sun.
In that sunny spot, back in the shade, it's not too bad. Salvi in motion. Try to run that outside trap, and Newhouse spins and twirls for perhaps a first down for Dallas.
Over 100 yards rushing for Newhouse against St. Louis. Then he sprained that ankle. If he's healthy, first downs will come by almost automatic reference, right?
Seattle Seahawks 7, Oakland nothing in the first quarter. As Newhouse goes out, and Laidlaw replaces him. He'll be one of the Dallas running backs along with Tony Dorsett.
Is that a new sport coat on Landry, that check job? Is that a new period in his life?
The most famous clothes model in Dallas, I think, is the Cowboy coach. There he is.
Didn't come from the Army Navy store, I'll tell you that.
Very dapper fellow. Outside it goes to Tony Hill on what is supposed to be a quick screen, but Jerry Muckensturm is out there in a hurry.
Shaking his head like it wasn't executed properly.
How about this ticket? Landry for President Brookshire, which is misspelled. For Vice President. I'll vote for that, Tucson.
Have Taco will travel. That would be my program, right, as Veep?
I think I want to travel with the Vice President. San Francisco 10, Los Angeles nothing.
My new deficit spending program. You'd like that, huh?
I can contribute to that.
All right. Pack your bags.
Another member of the cabinet. Dorsett swinging to the outside, down inside the Bear 40, stopped by Livers, but it's a Cowboy first down.
The only time Dorsett is slow is when he's going back to the huddle or dropping a mirror on his toe. Look at this move inside. They say he's about 191 or 2 pounds because of inactivity. He looks pretty sleek. He's still thoroughbred. Good play on the defensive side to keep him inside by number 24, I believe that was Virgil Livers that made the good tackle.
Minnesota losing to Miami 20-12 now in the fourth quarter. Dorsett and Laidlaw are behind Staubach. He will bring back to Dorsett. Then he has room into the Bear secondary. Down inside the 25 is Tony D. Livers again on the stop.
Watch the block by Laidlaw, number 35. The fullback goes outside. Goes on through on the back. Watch the cut. All you have to do to block for number 33 is go out and hit somebody. He'll make it look like it's textbook.
Alan Page, see what happened to him.
Once in a while you could run it, Alan. I think that was always a problem. Actually, he got arm wrestled. And he lost this time. Think there's any holding on the line of scrimmage?
Well, here's Staubach under a blitz again, and he gets out of 1, gets out of 2, and can't get out of the rest of it. Alan Page led the sacking pack.
That's the 12th sack for the Chicago Bears. Good time to do it, too. The goalpost was not that far behind him. Good move by the linebackers. They sent 3 of them that time. Take a look. Roger knew this one was over. Again, the poise of the 11-year veteran from Navy. Well, I'm not going to get it off this time. I'm going to take a slight beating, but I'm going to keep the hog bladder close.
That sets up a 2nd and 20 situation with just about a minute and a half left to play in the first quarter. There will be less than that when this play gets underway. Line of scrimmage, the Dallas Cowboys, the Bear 34 with the Dallas Cowboys in possession. Shotgun for the first time today, and here comes the blitz again as Staubach hung in there. The throw is for Drew Pearson, knocked away on a good play. Good defensive play by Terry Schmidt, the left cornerback for the Bears, number 44.
And the only thing 44 could do was forget where the receiver might be and play the ball. Watch how scary this is. This is the great Drew Pearson, and 44 didn't even worry about where he was. Schmidt did a good job.
Staubach took a real lick from somebody just as he let it go.
Yep, they decided to blitz the shotgun on 2nd and 20. Everybody arrived there.
It was Mike Spivey that put the whack on Staubach. 3rd and 20. San Diego has taken the lead over Buffalo 7-6 now. Again, they unveil the shotgun.
Well, that Springs, number 20, is in there, and you better get him and don't let him in the pass pattern.
They're going to blitz the gun again. That took him out of any sort of thought of field goal. Mike Hartenstein led the rush.
And Alan Page, number 82, gets loose. Watch it. These shotguns, looks like that every time the shotgun is shown, there are going to be extra people hitting the pocket, and then it's a gamble. Number 12 against a lot of us. Bears get sack number 13 for the year. Another angle from behind Roger. That snap is a little slow. Watch Springs come over and pick up the linebacker, but there's still too many people circling up.
Remember a few years ago, I guess more than a few, when San Francisco was terrorizing everybody with the shotgun and they went to Wrigley Field, and the Bears just blitzed it and almost ran them out of the ballpark. That was Danny White. High and angling for the sideline, and Wilson was down where he was in a position almost to be able to catch it or knock it back at least, but it got away from him and went out of the end zone. So the Bears will have it at their own 20 with 37 seconds left to play in the first quarter. The Bears 7, the Dallas Cowboys 7.
All right.
The Great American Truck Race.
Bobtail trucks. I'd like to have been in that.
I thought you were in it.
No, I should have been. The amateur roller skating championships. Speaking of a guy who can wheel it a little bit, there's Thomas Henderson. We'll watch him this play, all right?
He runs like he might be on roller skates sometime. That's how he gets around very quickly. Left side linebacker he is, number 56, as the Cowboys flex it. Payton will run it. 8 or 9 yards from Walter Payton. Bob Bruning had to come out from his middle linebacker spot to make the tackle. Fourth quarter score, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers still unbeaten, leading Green Bay 21-10.
We've watched Payton on a lot of films and games, and some people say he cannot run to the right, that he likes to run to the left side, and backs or running backs have favorite lefts and rights, but that time he ran to the left side rather effectively.
Looks to me like he can run in just about any direction.
But he really runs to the right.
Better.
Hot.
First quarter's over. Quite a contest at Texas Stadium in Irving, Texas, with the Cowboys and Bears locked at 7 apiece. That's the end of the first quarter. Tie score. Tom Landry of the Cowboys on the left. Neil Armstrong, the headband for the Bears, on the right in the headset.
Evans is 0 for 3 in passes, and I imagine Armstrong would like for it to stay that way, especially in his own territory.
St. Louis Cardinals lead the Pittsburgh Steelers 6-0. First quarter score.
12-yard run by O.J. Anderson, the young rookie from Miami. Good player, huh?
Williams straight ahead. Randy White on the tackle.
Well, that's a big offensive line for the Chicago Bears. They can lean on you.
First down.
Sorry, and Noah Jackson are about 270 apiece. Neal, the center's about 258. Albrecht is 260 at left tackle, and Big Dennis Lick is about 270, the Wisconsin All-American at right tackle. They can lean on you even if you're the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Vince Evans. The Bears have it first and 10 at their own 31. Opening seconds of the second period, and Evans throws. Completes his first pass of the day to Golden Richards. First pass he has caught this year, Richards.
Evans was 4 for 7 last week in the big win. Hit Scott with a TD pass, but that's Golden's first catch. He's still very popular here in Dallas. He gets quite an ovation, huh?
When he was introduced today, he got quite an ovation. Greg Latta checks in with a play for Vince Evans. By the way, in the game involving Atlanta, their young running back, William Andrews, picked up 41 yards and 20 carries. Did not get the 100 yards he needed to become the first rookie ever in the history of the league to have 3 consecutive games like that in his first time out. Bob Brunig made the tackle on Payton, but he squirmed for another Bear first down.
There's some great runners, and I missed a lot of great runners in my short career, but everybody gets in line behind Walter Payton right now. He crawled that time and almost broke the play while crawling.
Tom, there is another rookie. That's Houston 20, Kansas City 6. O.J. Anderson of St. Louis, who has a chance to become the first rookie ever to break the 100-yard barrier in his first 3 games. That game is still underway, and he has 18 yards so far, so he may not make it. He's got a tough task against Pittsburgh. Evans, as a flag goes down, holds the ball behind his back in the shadows.
O.J. Anderson had 193 against Dallas on opening day down in St. Louis. He is brilliant.
There is Bob Thomas. He's got a new holder. Not on the active roster. The holder's done.
Thank you.
Referee is Pat Haggerty. Obviously something malfunctioning with his microphone. You can hear the call.
Shout it out, Haggerty. Shout it out.
Alan Page looking on. Bit of a gray beard now. I know how you feel.
Just not as quick. Gotten old, but just not as quick as Alan. That's all.
First and 15 it is for Evans. Walter Payton takes the fake and takes the football. Loses the football. And Cliff Harris comes up with it. They might have said he's down. No, it's Dallas ball, I believe. Yes, it is. The Cowboys have it. As Payton had it jarred loose and Cliff Harris picked it up.
This is the extra yardage. Dorsett fumbles occasionally. All the great runners will fumble because they're going for the extra yardage. And there it is. It was on his hip, and Randy Hughes hit him on the left hip. And the ball went off his right hip, and number 43 has it. Harris again.
And the Cowboys have the first turnover of this contest. Score tied at 7. Cowboys have the ball. NFL doubleheader weekend at the early games next week here on CBS. Atlanta against Detroit, Green Bay at Minnesota, and Washington at St. Louis. The other games, Chicago at Miami, Los Angeles and Tampa Bay, New Orleans at San Francisco. That's next Sunday here on CBS. We're watching number 61, the right tackle for Dallas, Jim Cooper, as they have it 1st and 10 with Dorsett in motion. And the handoff is to Newhouse, who cuts back inside and will get some good yards. Not as much as it looked like for a moment. Jim Osborne recovered and led the Bear tacklers.
Hey, Cooper got a darn good block on Osborne, too, but watch the Osborne spin. Watch 61 now. He can play center, guard, or tackle. Makes pretty good contact. Doesn't quite get in front of the numbers, and Osborne spins and comes out. We said that the Bears will sort of ravage you because they're sort of wild whackers on defense, but they will hit.
It'll be 2nd and 5 here in St. Louis. The Cardinals lead Pittsburgh 9-0 as Steve Little has kicked the field goal. Dorsett tried to pick his way again. It's Osborne and Muckensturm who makes the initial hit on Dorsett. Watch Cooper again, 61.
All right, here's the free agent. Remember, Rayfield Wright was there for years, then Frederick got a shot at it this time. He takes on Hampton, the All-American from Arkansas, and got him out of the play. Cooper is a hustler, though, and Landry's always said you play with the strong left side, which means heart. That's not just a cliche. I guess that's been proven here in Dallas, huh?
Many times. 3rd and 1 for the Cowboys as Dorsett goes back deep. Sally up on the right flank, and Staubach tries and does get it himself. He's all the way down to the 30, Tom Hicks, who is playing middle linebacker now. Made the stop. San Diego 13-6 over Buffalo now in the 2nd quarter.
You know, I asked Roger what training camp was like this year. He's an 11-year veteran, put in years in the service and what have you, and he's got his children, and 5 of them, 13-year-olds the eldest, and he said training camp seemed like forever. He said, you know, when you get a little older, you're thinking about home and relaxing a little bit in the late summer instead of going through 2-a-days.
I can remember. Long time ago.
a good memory, right?
Yeah. First and 10. Staubach looking to the outside. Gets Billy Joe Dupree, maybe a couple. Doug Plank takes Dupree down and takes him down as he usually does with a lot of authority.
Using the man over the middle, that's Osborne in the over defense over Fitzgerald's nose. Roger came right out throwing on it. And again, the Bears will show you a 3-man front, a 4-man front, a 5-1-5. They will really mix up the defenses as these people mix up our minds, I guess.
It's a 1-yard pickup. Second and 9. Staubach gives back to Dorsett, who looked like he might have some room inside, and still continues outside and is hustled out of bounds right about the line of scrimmage by Muckenstern. He's turned into a fine football player, Jerry Muckenstern. Dorsett in that stroll back to the huddle. Newhouse goes out. Laidlaw comes in, I believe, or Ron Springs comes in. They'll show him a bunch of receivers on 3rd and 9.
And this is the reason that the percentage, the third down percentage for Dallas has fallen off a little bit. Last year it was over 50%. This year it's under that because it's 3rd and long a little bit this year, more often than not.
Preston Pearson, whom we have seen on 3rd down for many years in a clutch situation, come through. He stays in the block this time. Helps out on Hampton to Saldi. He was the intended receiver. Raphael Septien dropped zone. On the far side of the field, it was the Bears went for gains on the coverage.
Doug Plank, the safety man, blitzed. Roger is finding crazy numbers flying around that pass protection pattern. Now we're going to get a field goal attempt to the young man who made a 51-yarder last week.
Raphael Septien. Let's see how far this one will be. It'll be 37, 47 yards.
Like he was hooking a little bit left, Pat, in practice, but you can never tell with the sideline.
That looks good.
Oh, it is.
Shot right down the middle. Raphael Septien from 47 yards out puts Dallas in front for the first time this afternoon, 10-7 over the Bears.
Well, Raphael's not big, but he is really strong and a good athlete, isn't he?
Uh-huh. 84 deep for the Bears is Brian Bashnagel. As you look at the number of plays it took Dallas to go 12 yards, 7 plays, and settle for a 46-yard field goal. They call it by Raphael Septien, who's kicking off right now.
Oh, a strong kick again.
And deep to the 2-yard line where it's fielded by Bashnagel. Stumbles to the outside, stays on his feet. Good return out of bounds about the 33.
Like Septien had to go over and make a tackle on the sidelines, and number 1 threw his smaller body right in there with zest.
Helped out by Robert Shaw. Cowboys down on the far side of the field in front of the Dallas bench. That is Raphael Septien. Pittsburgh has scored against the Cardinals. St. Louis 9, Pittsburgh 7.
Terry Bradshaw to Stallworth. Touchdown pass.
Septien looks to be all right now, limping just a little bit.
If you know, he's got his suit on, he's using it, that's good. There's Bob Avellini, the former Maryland quarterback who used to be a starter, and he's watching Vince Evans at the controls.
If something happened to Septien and he could not kick, Dallas would use Danny White as a place kicker, as well as a punter. Here's Payton pulling straight ahead and punting, twisting and hustling back to the huddle now. Dave Stahls made the tackle.
He's even running when he's up off the ground. That time they knocked number 34 up in the air, and he still had him moving. Like it was like a motorcycle. You have to cut the ignition off with it.
Steve Schubert looks like he has a problem with his right shoulder, which is being administered to at the moment. It'll be 2nd and 7. 3-yard pickup for Payton.
Vince Evans got to be a little bit careful. He's 1 for 4 throwing for 9 yards, but you don't want to throw too often against Dallas.
Bounces off the hands of Williams. Golden Richards might have had a chance at it, but it bounced away from him too as Thomas Henderson was involved in the coverage.
Young Evans has got to be careful, though. The Cowboys have had 3 balls now that have been sort of double bounced, and You know, you can't skip rocks across the pond against them. They'll come back with it and stick points on the board. It's careful time for a young quarterback especially.
So it'll make it 3rd and 7 for Vince Evans of USC. Cowboys show blitz, and they come. Pass is down the middle, intended for Walter Payton. Aaron Mitchell on coverage. What are you laughing at?
Aaron Mitchell is so ornery. He's that young rookie defensive back from Las Vegas, Nevada, and he can. They say in practice he roughs up the Dallas receivers, and that time he really worked over the intended receiver for the Bears.
He was very close to roughing him over before the ball got there.
Yes, he does it early or late, whenever.
Tony Hill back for Dallas will check the hang time. Line drive kick. The hang time won't be too good. Hill took it at 25, looking for some kind of a punt return, an area in which the Cowboys have not been all that successful in recent years. One of the few.
Spivey made a good tackle for Chicago. These teams are pretty evenly matched. You know, they should be. They're both unbeaten, right?
Dallas up by 3 at the moment. We have 9.5 minutes left to play in the second quarter. The Cowboys 10, the Bears 7. 9:28 left to play in the first half. 60 minutes coming up tonight, followed by the Sunday night movie on CBS, The 10th Month.
That's Carol Burnett's dramatic show tonight. And of course, all of the family, they tell me there's a problem that
Slave driver Archie pushes Edith too far.
Very dangerous thing to do.
Doesn't say where he pushes it.
Edith pushes back, maybe, huh?
We'll see who wins tonight on CBS. And we'll find out right now who wins. It's Robert Newhouse in a misdirection, gets about 3. By the way, we were talking about Walter Payton breaking Rick Caceres' all-time Bear rushing record. Robert Newhouse has now moved into 3rd place on the all-time Cowboy list of rushers, behind Don Perkins and Calvin Hill.
He went by our friend that uses the snuff, right?
Little pinch. Went by Walt Garrison, blocking on Page.
Yeah, again, you once in a while could run at Alan Page. You didn't want to run away from him. They didn't get a lot of yards, though. It was good defense by Hicks, the linebacker.
Only 2. As Dorsett loses it, the Bears might have it. No doubt about it. The Bears recover Dorsett's fumble. Dan Hampton, the rookie from Arkansas, gets it.
Dorsett fumbles once every 27 times he carries the ball. That's a high frequency. Payton like 1 out of every 35 times. Look at this. In fact, he had it fumbled before he got hit.
Never had it, did he?
Ball was never there. Might have been a high handoff. We'll try to be as fair as we can, but that is disaster. Let's see if the handoff is good by Roger. A little bit high on the numbers and not put away.
Fumble by Payton set up the Dallas field goal, and now the Bears have capitalized on the Cowboys' courtesy. Gets back to Payton. He's tripped up in the backfield momentarily. D.D. Lewis is saying he got him, and I think that's what they'll say.
He came running off that turf, off that rug, and he was at high speed again.
Can you imagine what Payton would be if the rules were like they used to be, when you could get up and run again after you were down?
That would be something. Good time to get him. Tie his shoelaces together while he's watching television. Watch the move now. He gets bounced a little bit, steps right through that with that thigh work, and now comes right up off the rug running. Keep tackling him. Don't quit. Of course, Harris never has.
Miami now 3-0 as they have defeated Minnesota 27-12. 2nd and 9 here. Minnesota is now 1-2 as Evans fakes and is sacked by D.D. Lewis. The Cowboys blitz and take him all the way back into Bear territory, or just about.
Did you notice the official making the quick move that Vince was caught and might get hurt, so any extra play that time by the Cowboys might have called for a penalty. But this is a good rush and a good blitz. Here comes D.D. Lewis, makes the tackle, and right now they're saying, okay, the quarterback is officially down.
The extra wide receiver in the person of number 84, Brian Vashnagel, checks into the Bear huddle. They'll have Scott, Richards, and Vashnagel all in the game at the same time.
D.D. Lewis has been in 5 Super Bowls with Dallas. That's not a bad record for a guy you don't hear a lot about, huh?
You never say much about him because he never makes a mistake.
That's right.
He always does it right. Evans fakes quickly, fakes the reverse, finally fires on the ground in the direction of Williams. The heavy heat was on him from Bruce Thornton, the rookie from Illinois.
There's one of the good sleeper draft choices that Grant and Tex Slam have come up with. He's the Big Ten leader in sacks, but nobody thought he was ready for this kind of action. Watch 77. He is full of hustle and ginger. And football is really a young man's game when you're playing defensive line. Good play.
They faked that reverse that's been so good to the Bears in previous games, but it didn't fool Mr. Thornton. Bob Parsons in to punt for Dallas. Tony Hill deep for Chicago. Tony Hill deep for Dallas.
Parsons only had 2 yards in runbacks this year on like 12 kicks. Pretty good average.
Some heat on him this time and forced him to shake it out of bounds. Heavy pressure from Wilson. Steve Wilson, number 81.
He and Henderson, Hollywood Henderson, almost got a hand on it too, and he's talking to young Wilson as they walk off over there.
Hollywood Henderson. Some of the Dallas players have said, maybe it's time for you to be quiet until our defense starts playing a little better. Those of you who watch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers stay unbeaten over the Green Bay Packers 21-10, welcome to Dallas, Texas Stadium, where you can see the bright sunshine having its effect on our pictures and causing our cameramen problems. But they are doing an outstanding job, as they always do, coping with that. Just 1 second. First and 10 Cowboys. Robert Newhouse takes the handoff from Roger Staubach. Pat Summerall and Tom Brookshire here. The Cowboys lead the Bears 10-7 as Golden Richards, ex-Cowboy, now in the uniform of the Chicago Bears, looks on.
He still has one of our CBS banners in his garage. You know, he has a trophy room, and he took one of our banners home one time. And we've been after him ever since to bring it back, you know.
We've had several people chasing him.
That's right. By the way, Staubach is 5 for 7 for 69 yards. Extremely sharp today throwing the football, at least to us.
6:45 left in the second period here as Tony Dorsett breaks away from one tackler, squirms to the outside, breaks away from another one. Finally chased out of bounds by Virgil Livers. Good moves by Dorsett.
Make a mistake against number 33. Watch Hampton now get a pretty good shot. The big rookie defensive end, 90. Now look at this, good shot. And now you've got a problem. Here's an arm tackle, forget those. And again, Livers uses that sideline extremely well. Good, safe defensive play.
Enough for a Dallas first down. Cowboys 10, Bears 7. 6:36 left to play in the first half at Texas Stadium. Bay Buccaneers looking good. Newhouse blasts away for about 4.
See how the Dallas offensive line is coming off the ball. That's Fitzgerald, of course, the snapper. They're staying low. Again, that's the one department that seems to get criticism because well, it's very hard to find fault with people that go to the 5 Super Bowls, and there have only been 13. But that seems to be the one area where they say, well, they're not quite AAA there, but they seem to be doing a good job. And you see Newhouse is getting some yards along with Dorsett.
The Bears show you a lot of different defenses. Shotgun formation. They've been blitzing this, but they don't this time. The pass was partially deflected, but it's still completed to Drew Pearson, knocked out of bounds by Terry Schmidt. Our man manning the microphone on the sideline took a pretty good knock that time.
Drew Pearson is really amazing, though, the way he can keep control of himself on the sideline and not get hurt. That time he backed out of bounds, took a pretty good shot by Schmidt, and then had time to help our technician get back on his feet.
The hazards of working on the sideline sometimes go unnoticed. Here it is. Look out. About 3 down. Here's Dorsett with some room to the outside. Cuts back in, but to about the 25. Gary Campbell made the tackle.
He's got 5-speed shift. He did a little shift job. Ever thrown your car into an overdrive? That's what number 33 has.
Dorsett now has 10 carries for 46 yards. Payton 10 for 55. In the event that those of you watching Tampa Bay didn't hear it, Walter Payton has picked up enough yardage to break Rick Caceres' record, and Payton is now the leading Bear rusher in their illustrious history. Second down, Dallas. They need 5. Staubach has Tony Hill. Flag is down, and Hill had that strike right on the money.
Looks like offensive holding. They may pull this one back. Let's see him check it out. Good crew, by the way, working. Haggerty and Al Conway and Walt Peters. That's about the first yellow flag I can remember seeing today.
The rest of the officials, that's the second one, Tom. The rest of the official has the line judge, Vern Marshall, the back judge, Jimmy Poole, the side judge, Dick Creed, the field judge, Bob Lewis. They'll bring it back, as you suspected.
Here's Haggerty.
We have holding on the right side, offense, second down.
The whole right side?
You know, talking about the illustrious history of the Chicago Bears, the man who began the Bears, George Halas, amazing man, has written a book.
Strange title, don't you think?
Halas by Halas. And it's a must. Staubach dropping, takes a shot under heat. Jim Osborne led the pack, charging in on Roger.
Doug Plank laid an elbow on Billy Joe Dupree, and they exchanged not unkind words, but tight ends and safety men just don't like each other anyway. I wonder if Whistling Ray's...
That's a Bear.
SPCA will be after us again. Is that a Bear?
It's a club at least. Oh, it was a Bear.
Whistling Ray's had a pretty good year, huh?
Says he is. Jay Sally, Ron Spring, Preston Pearson, all in the Cowboy offensive lineup. They operate with Staubach deep. This time the protection is pretty good, and Staubach runs, gets away from Hartenstein, is inside the 20, down to about the 16, enough for a Dallas first down. For a 37-year-old child, that's pretty good scampering.
He went back down. It looks like he might have hurt himself a little bit. He's telling himself he didn't want to have to run with it. He was trying to hit Springs, who had done sort of a drag-out maneuver at about 12 yards, but Roger is in a little bit of pain, and he's smart enough to not try to rush getting up.
And so they've taken a timeout. He's looking through the cobwebs right now. Don't forget.
Okay, let's see if anybody comes here, Patrick.
No, they didn't blitz it.
They didn't blitz it. They get pretty good pass blocking. You can see Rafferty and company now making a move. It's not the tackler there. He is really out in the open. That's Walderscheid. Oh, hits him on that left shoulder, right on the back left shoulder blade. The clavicle, I think.
Talking to the Dallas officials before the game, Staubach is leaving. Danny White, their backup quarterback, has a broken finger. And it'll be about 2 more weeks before he's ready. Their third quarterback is Glenn Carano. And here he comes, number 18.
From Nevada, Las Vegas, who has a good-looking throwing motion, but hasn't had a chance to really unlimber it yet. He hasn't thrown, of course, in the heat of a regular NFL game. Had some preseason action.
Right. They believe that he's a fine prospect. All that may be, but game experience is where it's at. Glenn Carano then on first down for the Cowboys. Gives to Newhouse, trying to swing around the corner. He'll get nowhere. Led by Gary Campbell, the Bear defense gets him out of bounds. Final score, the Houston Oilers 20, Kansas City 6. Houston's record then will be 2-1, and Kansas City 1-2.
Looked to me like that even that time, the first cadence call by Carano, looked like Fitzgerald might have left a little early the offensive center. That would, to me, would be the hardest thing to adjust to. A quick change in cadence between one QB and another.
As Fitzgerald, the center. Loss of 1 will make it 2nd and 11 as Scott Laidlaw is in the game in front of Newhouse, in front of Dorsett, who breaks 1. Fumble, and the Bears have it. Chicago ball. It's a second fumble for Dorsett.
Trouble is the word gets out that maybe is the only way to defeat you, because you're going to get yardage. You're a super running back, so one guy does a spin job and holds the runner up, and somebody else goes ball looking. Here's Hampton. This young kid from Arkansas is just ornery enough to cause some trouble. He doesn't get him. Hartenstein got part of it, and I believe it was Muckenstern. He's a hitter, too.
Word on Roger Staubach, by the way, Alan Page made the recovery, is that Roger is just dazed and should be back momentarily. time the Cowboys get the ball. They still lead 10-7, but they couldn't take advantage of that last break. Williams breaks into the secondary, breaks a couple of tackles, is finally down in the grasp of Cliff Harris. The Cowboys secondary is hurting. We'll tell you who they are in just a minute.
Here's the blocking against the flex on first down. Randy White gets taken down by Story. In fact, they actually ran behind the block. And again, this is a 215-pound former option quarterback that's filling in at fullback and not doing a bad job.
Seattle 10 now, Oakland nothing. First down, Bears. Ball at their own 27. Payton this time gets the call, is hit by Randy White.
Still made yardage.
Dragged Randy. Charlie Waters, the Cowboys all-pro safety man, was hurt in preseason and is out for the year, but not forgotten.
Coach Stallings might have put that up, the defensive secondary coach.
It'll be 2nd and 5. It looked like not very much for Payton on that play, but he still got 5 yards. He now has 60.
Right at Randy White.
10-7, still the Bear quarterback. Williams again tries to find some room to the outside. This time they hold him just long enough for Harvey Martin, Randy White, and Cliff Harris to get him down.
Good play by D.D. Lewis, too. He sealed off and sort of ruined the play right at the point of attack. And the Bears are pretty good at doing this across the line of scrimmage. They're not giving away much of the line of scrimmage. You can see to the left, Noah Jackson, 65. Look at D.D. Lewis sort of seal it right there and make the play go a little bit wider and slower than it was intended to go.
So it'll be 3rd down as Vince Evans comes over to confer with Neil Armstrong, the head coach of the Bears. They trail by 3 with 2 minutes to go in the first half. The Cardinals continue to be tough. 15-7 now over Pittsburgh. How'd it happen?
1-yard TD by Theodis Brown, the big rookie fullback that's in there with O.J. Anderson right now. Cardinals going to be tough.
They sure are. They were tough at the end of last year. Don't forget all the highlights and scores around the league coming up at the half with Brent Musburger, Jane Kennedy, and Irv Cross. And then after the game, don't forget 60 minutes. Payton runs into the quarterback, and they will not get the first down, although he still struggles for a few before Randy Hughes can get him down.
Bruni getting it up with the football. Payton almost made yardage anyway, but did run into the young quarterback. I wonder if it's supposed to be a reverse handoff, or maybe he's just supposed to step straight ahead. Looked to me like the young quarterback got target fixation and ran into the... Well, that Payton's strong.
Didn't he, though? Look at him pull right out of Hughes' grasp. Better kick this time from Parsons. Ball bounces around, and finally Tony Hill falls down on it.
Roger Staubach getting ready to come back for this less than 2-minute drill. See who the quarterback.
I would think that he would.
There he is.
Staubach comes back.
See, it doesn't on the jersey. Just knocked the wind out of him. You get hit in the back sometimes where you're not expecting to get hit is probably the reason you get the breath knocked out of you more than anything else.
He is 6 now out of 9 is Staubach for 85 yards so far. The touchdown pass to Tony Hill. Hands off to Dorsett, who swings to the outside and around the corner. Comes Dorsett and out of bounds. He got about 13 yards. Winnie Walter-Shy took him down.
They say on the long grass field before he dropped the mirror on his toe that he was running 4.4s, 4.42s, 40s in long grass, you know. And he gets a good block by Newhouse, number 44. Watch the fullback come out, make one of the difficult blocks in football because the angle is not good. He stayed with the linebacker until he knocked him down. Good block.
Dallas has the football now at their own 31. They lead the Bears 10-7. Ron Springs and Preston Pearson in the lineup. Staubach goes back about 5 yards behind the center in the shotgun formation. And fired and caught and dropped by Preston Pearson.
He's dropped the ball for the first time this year. I've seen him in a couple of other games. Now, he's come back and made the typical Pearson catches later on, too. But early in the game, when he's first in, Preston's dropped a couple of balls this year. Very unusual.
Doug Buffone made the tackle as Burton Lawless checks in for the Cowboys with the play and tells it to Roger Staubach.
But that ball was low, too, wasn't it? Low and away.
6 out of 10. That was a tough catch. Play has taken a long time. Look out for something unusual.
Roger might have some trouble with the numerical part of his brain right now. He might be a little bit woozy.
1:12 left on the clock before the half. Again, the same shotgun formation. Again, the protection is good. And so is the pass as Drew Pearson, who runs those patterns like they're diagrammed, comes back to beat the ball and gets the Dallas first down.
Rogers woozy, all right. Good comeback pattern by number 88.
He came back a little too far, Tom. He had the first down, and then on coming back, stepped out of bounds about a foot shy of that first down.
From the shotgun, Dupre going right up, clearing out. Springs takes the short zone, and now deep sideline and back. Let's see how far he was. Oh, yeah, he had it made until went on the wrong side of the stick.
Virgil Livers pushed him out on the wrong side of that stick. So it's 3rd and short. Newhouse didn't get it. He didn't even come close as he tried to go over the top. That's a difficult task for him ever to go over the top.
Might have been able to go under, but to go over is, you're right, it's virtually impossible. He threw his little body up in the air, but there's nowhere to go. Muckensturm was there again. I believe the Dallas defense got to come on the field. I can't believe Chicago's not stopping this clock.
Punting unit is on with Danny White over on the sideline. It's 4th down. There, it's a sign from Floydada, Texas.
Pretty good artwork, too, for Florida,
yes.
Don't you think?
For you, me, and our spotter, Lance Barrow.
We need him, I'll tell you that.
So does Floydada. They measured short, and Danny White and punting unit come on.
We have seen him throw the pass in the past for Coach Landry, but with the wrap and everything on his right hand, he's been throwing in practice. But surely with 40 seconds, he wouldn't try anything.
He might take a look and see what the rush looks like, and then maybe take off and run with it. We've seen him do that, too. They need about a foot for a first down. Steve Schubert is back deep for the Bears.
Trying to block it, huh?
Rafferty, the center. Didn't take much of a look, but they did try to block it. What a kick it is. Schubert goes up with a fair catch sign, and wisely so, as the Cowboys were down staring him right in the face, led by Benny Barnes, who's been great on special teams for years and years. 8, in fact, for Dallas. Forget we'll be going back to New York to join Brent and Irv and Jane, and they'll bring you up to date on what has happened around the league today. A lot of surprises. They'll have highlights of most of those games. And about, well, we got 13 seconds left to play here. The Bears have all of their timeouts left.
You know, with all of the offensive rule changes that we thought were there just to score points, I noticed that point scoring was only up like 6.7%.
Right.
That's inflation's up more than that. Inflation's 13%. That's cheap.
Passing offense is up 15%, though. So that's significant.
Is that principle?
I guess. Compounded daily. Or weekly. Harvey Morton gets Payton out of bounds, but he has a Bear first down, and the clock is stopped now with 5 seconds to go.
You want to watch a football coach's dream working? 34. Steps up, takes the ball, carries it like he's going to be very loose with it. He puts it away now upon contact. My heavens. Put you right into retirement in one season, try to tackle him.
In open field, it's an impossible task almost. 12 for 77 for Walter Payton. Both his games so far this year have been 100-yard games, and he's well on his way to another one. Vince Evans gives to fullback Williams. And that'll be the last play of the first half, as Dave Stahls helps Williams to his feet. That's the end of it. The Dallas Cowboys lead the Chicago Bears 10-7. We expected this would be a close game as you look at the Bears heading into the tunnel.